And I'm passing the phone to the person with the field of fire.
Oh, energy.
All right, so I'm passing the phone to Ghana's version of Bob the Builder.
Passing the phone to the person that brings you the yawa of the day.
No.
Yeah.
It'll be me.
I'm not saying anything.
Alright, guys, I'm passing the phone to a womanizer. I don't look like one. I look
No.
Why are you doing that? Your hand is giving.
Ghana's digital space is witnessing a shift. A wave of young creators building platforms for deep, meaningful conversations. And these are not your typical entertainment shows. These are thought leadership podcasts, reshaping how young Ghanaians engage with ideas about business, growth, and purpose.
How are you feeling?
Right.
And you're about to do another one?
Yeah, with the Martha,
Yeah.
which is a good conversation.
But have you ever wondered what goes into starting one of these? I have spent time with these young hosts, listening to their stories, how they balance day jobs with podcasting, how they build audience with zero budgets, and how they use their platforms to spark real change.
So what inspired me to start the podcast? I think two things. One, because I wanted to change the narrative. I think when you came, we were talking and you mentioned that there've been a lot of entertainment content and gossips and, all those fun stuff. Yeah, there's the part where we need the entertainment because sometimes you watch that to really straight, but it was becoming too much. So I thought we needed something different in the podcast or the education space.
I just completed MEST. We are building our startups and we felt like we had a lot to say about the ecosystem. And we also felt like there are stories that needed to be told in the ecosystem. So that's primarily why we started to tell those stories and put insights out there from who are building businesses like us at the time to make better decisions, informed decisions with the stories and the data that we put out there. So that's basically why we started Building Right.
For many, it's not about the fame, it's about voice, shaping the narrative of what it means to be young, driven, and forward-thinking in Ghana today. What's happening here is bigger than content creation. It's a movement of ideas, a new layer of Ghana's intellectual culture forming online, one conversation at a time.
Yes.
So in recent years, if you open your social media platform or whatever platform you use, one of the things that you see or one type of content you see is short videos that has been cut from long form clips, especially podcasts, right? So in this video, I'll be interviewing a number of people who have started their podcast, trying to understand why they started it in the first place. Are they trying to make a name for themselves? Are they or they're just jumping on the whole content bandwagon, maybe make some money online, or they're genuinely wanting to actually change narratives or help people with the type of content they do. So here I am at the content studio and I'll be going in and I'll be interviewing. All right, let me take you along.
No, let's go. Good afternoon. This is Terry. Hi. Apologies for keeping all of you waiting. It wasn't my intent, but you should have come in 2 hours. Just Michael, Peter, Samuel. You've met this guy, right? Yes, that's okay. Alright,
What do you think makes Unscripted different from the other podcasts?
I think the name, right? So the name being Unscripted, most of the conversations we have is not really scripted, just like the name says. It's just us having a conversation. There are times where the guests will come and sit down in the seat, and after the very first question, maybe, how has the year been, or how are you? The conversation goes a different direction from what we probably even thought, right? So it's just that raw, unfiltered kind of conversation. We've never really sat down and maybe planned a conversation. Yeah, maybe I know the talking point and all that, but it's just, I have a curious mind.
Yeah.
I want to know this person. What does the person do? Who is the person? What makes them who they are? So let's just have a conversation. And I think recently I was watching a podcast and the person mentioned that most of the conversations that are good, he's a podcast that most of the conversations that are good are the ones that are not rigid. Yeah. And I agree with it. Sometimes when there's that tension, it becomes difficult to flow. Yeah. So most of the times it's just free vibes. Yeah. And also I think my personality too, people like the way I'm free. spirited. I'm not, any giddy person. You can relate with me. And I think also the line of questions, because I think that's one thing people talk about a lot.
Yeah.
There are questions that people want answers to. I think one of the difficult things about hosting a podcast, and I said this before, is trying to be in the shoes of many people. If you have 1,000 people watching your podcast and you're having a 1 hour conversation, you are trying to answer probably, let's say, 50 to 80% of the people. So can you ask a question that one person watching the interview or 1 out of 10 people watching the interview will be like, oh, I have this question. Thank you for asking that. Right. And I think for the last 18 months, I think that's another thing we've been doing well on that. And I think the quality and the consistency bit of it.
Yeah. Today was your first, let's say, the debut event. What would you say about that? How's the experience been?
I think it's been very great.
Among the growing wave of shows, the top tech podcast right now, But, has been making waves. The team is doing an exceptional job spotlighting the stories, challenges, and breakthroughs of the Ghana tech ecosystem, giving founders, builders, and innovators a platform that didn't exist a few years ago.
Hello, my name is Yarin Chirusu. I lead a team at Inside Lab. We are the creators of Building Bytes and a few other digital storytelling platforms.
Do you feel podcasts are changing the way young Ghanaians consume media?
Yes, I think so. At the mass, let's say, with the masses, it might not be the case, but I think it starts from somewhere. So it's starting now, like you hear people watching podcasts which are not just entertainment. So they are watching to get information. They are watching to start businesses. They are watching to start careers. They are watching to learn about how they can position their career, which I think is good, but not at the mass appeal yet. I don't think so. Yeah.
What's something that you think you guys are doing differently from other podcast platforms?
Yes, so for Building Bytes, our focus primarily is on stories. There's one thing that I always say that we are not a policy podcast. So a policy podcast will be come and tell me your bright ideas. We don't do that on our podcast. What makes us stand out is the stories. And it's like the space that we play in, Ghana's tech and digital economy, it doesn't lack bright thoughts. We don't lack bright thoughts. What we like are stories of how people have done what they did. So a company like Kofa has raised 8 million. How did they raise the 8 million? What did they do to raise 80 million? A company like Capital is growing rapidly. What are they doing to grow rapidly? How are they achieving that? And that's what we set out primarily to do. And that's what sets us apart. So if you listen to a typical Building by podcast, it's just stories. It's just someone who has done it before, who's come to tell you how he did it. He's not coming to tell you what he thinks should be done. We don't do that. And that's what sets us apart. And that's what make people love our content and feel like they want to tune in, they want to tell their friends about it.
My name is Bayo.
Let's give it. I don't do that. We're doing a story on podcasts in Ghana.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
You should do one on the space.
Okay.
It's so interesting. I've texted you. I text you all the time.
The Peswa podcast is a weekly show dedicated to showcasing entrepreneurship, innovation, and business stories across Africa, particularly Ghana. Hosted by entrepreneur Bill Kobina, the podcast features long-form conversations with founders, business leaders, and innovators, unpacking their journeys, struggles, breakthroughs, and mindset shifts that fuel success.
Company, you think the podcast is feeling? I don't think we are processing that scenario in Ghana necessarily. We think that we have the view that here, the team of the Peswa podcast, we have the view that this continent will be built if we are entrepreneurially minded as a collective. And one of the best ways to get people to have a certain mindset is to keep telling them stories and keep getting them exposing them to information, right? So we hope these conversations like this is going to go a long way to incite people to the entrepreneur, have a certain mindset in regard that we can set vision and be audacious enough to pursue them. So that's how we're processing this podcast.
For many young African entrepreneurs hungry for inspiration and practical insights, the Peswa podcast functions as a platform where real stories meet real lessons, connecting listeners to the pulse of African entrepreneurship.
In terms of reception, how has it been like? I mean, I understand that people are tuning into your content, the followers are increasing and all that, but does that reach your expectation? Is that what you're expecting?
This guy, you want my audience coming with me? doesn't reach my expectation. I think I said it when Headless interviewed me. No. Reason is, I think we have something good to give. So when we don't get that attention, it hurts. But I think the podcast industry is changing, is growing. So people are now getting used to it. People are now getting used to consuming podcasts, maybe when they are free, when they are at home, when they're in a ride and all that. But I think the reception has been good. I'm not even going to lie on that end, because putting out a video and then having averagely 1,000 people watching it is crazy. Just close your eyes and imagine 1,000 people. If I saw 1,000 people, I'm sure I'll run to my house, because I'm not used to crowd. I don't like crowd. So I think it's been good. Definitely there's more that can be done from our end to up what we are doing, and also to get it into the faces of people, because there's the marketing side of it. You have to be loud about it, which is something that I think we recently have started doing. Maybe if we did our marketing good from the beginning, I'm sure we would have gone faster, but it's something we are doing. But so to answer your question, the reception, it's been good, but it can definitely be better. But in terms of impact and value, I think people are getting most from it. People are getting most from it.
So I think if you go to any podcasting platform today, top 10 podcasts would likely be Christian podcasts and stuff like that. And then a few other entertainment one. You see Kojo Sheldon in there. You see Sincerely Accra in there. I think we are growing in terms of the new media space. We are growing. Like, our interest is growing outside of what we all know, outside of the news, outside of entertainment, but there's still a lot to do. In terms of mass appeal, I don't think the type of content that I produce, the type of content that the people I know who produce, we've not gotten there yet. It's still very hard to get verifiable, interesting business news. It's still very hard. Like, that shouldn't be the case. I can easily get gossip. Why can't I easily get verifiable business news, which is not just stats? It's not just like stuff like that. I think we are moving towards that, and it's also good, like, new platforms that are not just entertainment, that are not just come and laugh, are growing. Connected Minds is there, Reagan is there, Building Byte is there, Peswa podcast is also there. So I think in terms of growing, we are growing in that phase, right? Yeah.
So on a personal level, considering you've been speaking with a lot of founders and a lot of entrepreneurs, how has your motivation evolved over time?
Yeah, I think for me, I've been reminded, and personally, I am a business person. I am involved in corporate businesses and entrepreneurship being like the classic component. But I've been, every conversation like a reminder that it is possible, that I'm always reading my aim, and that I just have to be audacious enough and keep going. So yeah, I'm just privileged to have a constant reminder with every conversation, and also I'm making some great friends. These guys are becoming friends, and like have access to these people and their repository of knowledge and experience. So yeah, it's fun.
Over time, these podcasts have gained significant momentum, with more people finding them valuable.
So as has probably become obvious, we have an ongoing partnership with WeWire. WeWire is a B2B cross-border payment platform.
So it started as a conversation, one guest after the other, and then recently you sort of like buy the partnership with WeWire. Can you speak more on that?
Partnership with WeWire. So we had a conversation with Ebenezer. Over the period, we've had like a couple of brands approach us on the public. We just had to find let's work with a group or a partner that will feel there was a synergy, we understood what you're trying to achieve, and they also understood what you're trying to achieve. And WeWire is really bent on helping businesses do well globally. Right, we also better helping people start businesses and do well globally. So, there's synergy here. Let's make this work right now. So that's how that went. It was it happened over like a 10-minute conversation.
Yeah, that's interesting. That you talk about volunteers. Personally, for me, I've been doing this for a while. Everybody that volunteered, like, let's say, I had the very first person who volunteered, I made him a co-founder of what I'm building. And since then, I haven't been I get a lot of messages, people wanting to volunteer, but it's tough for me to have people volunteer because, for one, I don't have the resources to pay them yet. And then two, it's like sometimes it becomes hard to people manage. which it's a tough one for me. So I like just doing my own thing on my own. How have you navigated this whole thing? I think you said a little on the personal podcast, but like, are there things that you've had to learn? Maybe you probably picked up a book, you got some mentorship on how to, people manage, how to, manage your volunteers.
Not really. Do I even manage you people? I'm talking to you, not mine. Do I manage you people? I said don't talk when I'm working. But yeah, I think they all do their work so well. So in terms of like, I don't necessarily have to micromanage anybody. It's just a matter of knowing what they have to do, when they have to submit it by, and all that. Maybe I don't even disagree, but I feel like I'm not a strict boss. Unless of course maybe they are misbehaving. I'm a strict boss. Even am I strict? Please put the camera on here. Am I strict?
Not at all.
I'm not. These boys are lying. I don't trust you. Anyways, that's just by the way. So like, maybe you're supposed to submit this by this time. That's an issue. You can't. Just communicate it, right? So I understand you, and that's another thing. You need to understand who you're working with, right? Mistakes will happen, like I said on the personal support. Mistakes will happen. You learn from it, but I don't think I micromanage them. They know what to do. So they have the bigger picture, they have the overview. We know, okay, we've shot a video. Everybody knows that the sound guy knows that he has to edit sound. The podcast person knows he has to edit. The graphics knows this. Social media knows it. So there's that. If there are ideas that come to mind, I just communicate with them, maybe add timelines and all that. And I think it comes from a place of just trusting the people that do the work. Definitely at the beginning, they will do some mistakes. You have to correct those things. You have to motivate them. You fight with them. I fought with them before. It's normal. It happens. It's part of team building. So, yeah.
It seems like everybody is starting a podcast now. How do you feel about that?
Oh, they should start it. That's the thing. 2 views. And Derek said this on Talking to the Cook Rice. We need a lot of people to do it. Because then
you don't think it'll be saturated?
No. It will not be saturated. There's not even enough. Because if we go out, this Western content we're talking about, they have a lot, right? And that's how come they have the eyeballs. We have a few doing it. We need more people to do it. That way, brands outside, and Derek said it again, and I'm quoting him. He mentioned that Spotify and all these platforms will now say, okay, there's an attention over here, so let's come and push these people. If we don't have it, then there's no need coming there. The reason why some of these platforms like YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and all these things don't factor in Ghana when they are doing some of these things, because we don't have enough creators. YouTube will roll out a feature and then they'll push it to other countries because we don't have enough creators here for them to even be able to do the test they need. They are doing the test for a reason. They need the numbers to get it. So I feel like we need more podcasts. It will speak for this country. It will speak for investors who are trying to invest into the creator economy and all that. So we need people. On the other end, it's very, very difficult. It's not an easy thing. So we'll have people start and post. I made a post and they mentioned that a huge percentage of people give up on podcasting after like their first 3 episodes. And you can go and check it a lot. Because after the first 3 episodes, you realize that you need to be talking to guests, convincing them. You need to be spending money on guests. You need to be editing. You need to be doing this. So it's not an easy thing. So you have people that will give up. But on the end, if it becomes saturated, I don't think so. Every market, if we pick shoemaking, we have so many brands that are making shoes. Nike is getting customers. Adidas is getting customers. Puma is getting customers. Which one? Church Mouse is getting customers. Don't mind me. So there are so many brands that are doing the same thing and they are still thriving. So we need more podcasts. We need more podcasts.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Building Bites is like a fun meetup for, I'll say, tech enthusiasts and everyone.
Okay, Building Bites also has the experience of putting together live meetups, which basically came out of the podcast. Do you want to say something about that?
Yes. So when we started, we started our live event, which is Demo Fridays, during the first year of operations, right? So we realized that we are bringing people to come talk about what they've done, but there's always one question that keeps popping up: what are people building in Ghana? And we realized that if you are bringing people to come talk about what they've done, you can also create a platform to let people come and then demo what they are building and also like solve that need. So if I want to know who is building what in Ghana, every quarter I can come to Demo Fridays and come and learn about it. That's basically the thesis that we set out to start Demo Fridays. And so far it's been successful. We've done seven editions so far. The 8th one is going to happen in Accra. We've gone to Takrady, we've gone to Kumasi. Next year, we'll be expanding a few other regions outside of Takrady, Kumasi, and also like hosting, have like a more permanent presence in these regions as well.
So I think there's been like numerous avenues right now that people can tell their stories, what's happening in tech, like Demo Fridays. There's a lot of podcasts happening and things like that. So there's a lot of avenues right now. At first, there wasn't any. Like you wouldn't hear new products coming up. You wouldn't even know what's happening in the tech ecosystem. If there are some opportunities, nothing at all. But right now, there's a little bit of that in the space, so it helps. Yeah.
How do you see this evolving? The podcast in the next future, in the near future, how do you see the digital space embracing more of these conversations?
As a podcast, like I said, we are trying to double point, creating the stories. Now on that front, creating the story, creating them, getting the stories outside. Having guests from Ghana, we have people to travel across the continent. We have a certain Pan-African posture to go to other African countries and hear the stories there. And also on the creation side, an accelerator, live events to actively connect people to other people, speaking to networking, provide resources for founders and business people to build stuff. So yeah, that's how seeing it will evolve over time. That's how I think that's the picture we see. But you know, like that obviously we see in parts and professor in parts. So we have an idea, but the full bloom might be bigger than what we all envision as well.
If Vusi were to call you like this evening, I was like, hello, can you get to South Africa tomorrow for a pod?
You don't know. Please put the camera on that guy. Let him answer. Do you think I'll go?
We'll think about it.
If he was to, yes.
Why do you want to interview him?
So here's the thing. I mean, it's two things. It's value and numbers, right? Every episode is value and numbers. There's someone that you're bringing because you want their value. They probably don't have the numbers. It's someone you're bringing because you want to tap into their audience and have their value. Everyone. I'll never do it just for the numbers, because if that was the case, I've interviewed certain people. Value being the ultimate thing. But for Vusi, I mean, I've watched a lot of his. I listen to his podcasts, watch a lot of his interviews. I like him as a human being. I want to get a chance to sit with him and ask him questions from my perspective, from how I see things, right? Definitely also tap into audience. That's like the ultimate thing at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Not the ultimate, but I mean, it's part of the goal. But if he was to call me to fly to SA, I'm sure I would have made it happen, to be honest. I'll make it happen.
For people you've engaged in conversations with, is there one thing you'd wish they ask you, but they never do?
Thank God we have to think before we talk, because what I was going to say was not good for camera. Is there one thing I wish they'll ask me, but they never do?
Or is there anything you wish people understood about your work that they don't?
Wow. No, there's so many things running through my head. I want to give you one. Wow. I don't think they'll ever understand the work, especially if they are not in that particular. It's easier speaking to another person who is of the other, like you yourself, like this. You would understand the issues we'll face and all that. Maybe if you're talking about camera, audio, money, all those kind of things, team building and all that. I don't think there's a particular question. Maybe if they should ask me a question, they should ask me how much I want. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, they should ask me how much I want, because it takes a lot to run this, especially on the finance part. That's what people. When I recorded with Bill, I think I was talking to him that imagine recording an episode and then the guests they don't post it.
Yeah, that's wild.
That's time.
Is it like, do you sign any sort of like paperwork with them?
We've started doing that. We had, again, shout out to Derek. He gave us a blueprint to that, because he mentioned he does that. Yeah. You can sign it, but there's so many. Even this guy, Derek, talking to the group, has had a similar situation. He interviewed someone that's, I think it was a lady. Her parents are politicians also, and she spoke about interesting things. And after the pod, when they went home, the lawyer of the family said they want to listen to parts of the conversation. They listened to parts of the conversation. They're like, it can't go out, because he's going to worry the father, so he doesn't have to release it, right? So with something like that, what are you going to do? Because they can, you get my point.
Yeah.
So there's little you do, but there's the whole silent part and all that. But it takes a lot of money to run this. It takes a lot of time. So I think people should just appreciate the content and yes, enjoy it. But the question is, how much do they want to give me? How much do I want? How much does the team want? You can DM me.
Interesting. If you're not doing podcasts, what type of content would you do?
What type of content? If I'm not doing podcasts, I don't think I'll be doing content. Yeah, I don't think I'll be doing content. What I would have loved to do is, I still answer the question anyways. Traveling content.
It's expensive.
It's expensive. It'd be like Manu beer. Yeah, traveling content. I like the it's nice. Not maybe if I'm doing that, I would like to travel with someone so that the person will be taking the videos for me. I don't want the stress, so that I can enjoy it.
So like Wadimaya type of thing.
Yes, Wadimaya or this guy in Nigeria.
Steven Nduko.
Who?
Tayo Ina.
Yeah, Tayo. That's the name. Yeah, him. Yeah, I like that kind of traveling. Maybe I'll do that. I'll sell unscripted.
Alright, cool. So that's it.
Alright,
do you have any last words?
My last words. What does she bring us money? We're looking for sponsors, so long term, we are not looking for ad. We don't want to do adverts. We want to do sponsorship. Sponsorship, you go with us 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, 5 million, 10, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 million. 10 million in the next 5 years.
Cool.
All right, we are done.
Yeah.
Don't even have to see us.